Good afternoon. Hello, that's better. Good afternoon, Spurs fans, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home at Tottenham, past, present. Do you know what? An exciting future. Let's be positive. Let's just think about next season. Let's just think about the good times, the summer coming ahead, the sun, the barbecues, the parties we're going to have. Let's forget about Spurs because they're really not worth talking about. But here we are again talking about a certain individual who, in my opinion, reminds me of a Bond villain. All he needed yesterday was the cat, but his poor wife was tapping him on the knees saying, there, Daniel. It's okay. It's going to be fine. Just think about the summer. Think about your holiday in Barbados. We'll get away from all of this. You know, Mr. Levy, can you please leave the club? We don't want you anymore. Philip Brady, good morning. How are you, sir? Or good afternoon. How are you today, sir?
I'm a lot better than I was this time yesterday. Anyway, that's for sure.
Yeah, I could say you were a little bit angry, I think was the word.
Well, let's just say if I had a cat, it would have been kicked up and down the town. I keep using that euphemism, but It was just so frustrating yesterday to have such a brilliant first half performance, best one for months, only to forget the whole thing at half time and come out like we've been playing recently and absolutely surrender the whole game to Brentford. It was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing.
It was. And Mia, how are you? And really, the song from Simple Minds keeps coming into my head. Don't you forget about me.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm not too bad. I just had a little conversation with my brother about it earlier to get it off my chest a little bit because I'm just like, I don't know anymore. It don't even hurt. And he said the same. He's just so disconnected from the club, and that's not good. Yeah. That's not good for all of us to feel that way, but we do, you know.
We really do, guys. It is so disconnected. Philip, look.
I can think of another song as well.
Yeah, go on.
The Queen song, Another One Bites the Dust.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, no, Joe, I said that we are. No, the Linkin Park song "Numb." That's us. I've become so numb. I can't even feel you there. Like it's just that song is perfect actually for Tottenham.
Yeah, Pink Floyd as well. Comfortably Numb. That's another one that's good for.
Yeah, I can think another brick in the wall, but there you go. Look, very quickly on yesterday, we're not going to talk about it. This is going to be a free Tottenham match yesterday.
Tottenham losing a match-free zone.
We're going to talk about every other subject that's underneath the thing. Very quickly, if you want to become a Philip, do you want to say about the memberships and that, so that it is
membership of the channel, which gets you privileges to get on to members only shows and what have you. It's only $2.99 starting per month, and it does get you up there. Your comments will be read out quicker, and it helps the channel to invest. We're going to invest in greater technology and for the new season coming up. You know, so we're going to be high tech, really high tech.
And also, they can pay me to come on more. Then I might come on more if they pay me.
And also, we have put Mia's link in the chat as well for you, for Mia for Spurs Between the Lines. I can think of a good song actually, from you too, The Streets of No Name.
Yeah. I'll say that. There's one for the chat. Come on for the most fitting song that you remember that suits the Spurs situation at the minute, and we'll just see who has the best of them. Put it in the chat.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's see who's in the chat. Funnily enough, we've got Daryl Denton. Big up, Daryl. He says, "Ain't cheaper to sack him than keep spending millions." Well, that is the question. Poor old Daniel did ask the question. Me and Philip were talking about the show last night, and the Italian job came to my mind. Of hang on, lads. I've got a plan here. At the end of the Italian job, when the gold's going out the back of the van, you can see Daniel Levy right there with Conte and all the managers holding them. Hang on, lads, I've got a plan.
No, Joe, what I can see is turn around saying, "You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off," and because the whole stadium's collapsed.
I love that film. I don't like the new version, but I love the old version.
The new version's rubbish.
It is. We've got big up FC Colin, Man United fan. Big up Colin. Hope you're doing well, sir. We've got David Clark from Leicester. Hi from Leicester. I hope this puts to bed any Spurs fan thinking that Mason should be our permanent coach. Mind you, whoever thought that, David, must have been drinking or taking something seriously damaging to their health. or even on a bench. Mason's middle name isn't Winner, it's Sentimental FC.
That was criminal what he did yesterday after
Yeah, it
60
was.
minutes.
It was.
criminal.
Peter M, who actually got it spot on, Philip, to be fair, yesterday with the timings of the substitutes.
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he did.
Hey, all big up Forest. Yeah, congratulations to Forest. They have now confirmed their status in the Premier League, and also confirms Arsenal what we all known for a while. They're bottlers.
Bottle jobs. Yeah.
Bottle jobs.
243 days top of the league, and they lost it. Could only be Arsenal. And that's the only saving grace from yesterday, because nearly every team I was following yesterday lost.
Yeah.
Apart from Mayo beating Kerry, that was about the only one. Katie Taylor lost in a boxing fight against the English girl. Leinster lost the rugby.
Yeah, I know.
Spurs lost. Who else? My County Leitrim lost. Mind you, so did Western Dermot, so that's no harm, you know. So the Arsenal result was the only saving grace, really, you know.
Yeah. Well, Mayo, my father's from Mayo, so big up Mayo. The March for Big Sam's on. Yeah. There you go. And that's for Wexford, where they couldn't play. They're like
not Big Sam, no. Sam, not Big Sam. That's Sam Allardyce.
We will
we don't want him, no, please.
No. We will do a GAA sort of special show over the summer just to explain about GAA football over here. It will be a bit of fun. And why it's called the Sam Maguire Cup. It is quite interesting. But Wayne Bonner, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all well. Don't worry, season's nearly over. Season's over for me. I know it's definitely over for Philip, and I know definitely it's over for Mia. She's already on the beach with her towel on the sunbed already.
Yeah, the beach is just down the road, so I don't even have to go far to go beach.
No, but you even beating the Germans there in the mornings, Mia, and that's saying something. Beating them in the morning to the sunbeds is something. Big up Ryan McFarlane all the way from Derry. I hope it's sunny up there, sir, and I hope it's nice up the north as well today. But big up, sir. It says not soon enough, Levy out. Yeah, exactly. Even if Arsenal women's, even Wayne Bonner says, even the Arsenal women's team are bottling it. My Gooner mates are in for some stick work this week. Yeah, go on, you give it to them, Wayne.
The Nottingham Forest fans gave the Arsenal fans some stick yesterday. I saw a YouTube of it. Some of the chants they were coming out with were hilarious, you know.
There were. Peter M, the heat waves, the bugs, the heat fever. Oops, sorry, I'm not being positive. I know what you mean, man. I know what you mean. Wayne saying, Mia, got that tune, love that song.
Lincoln Park are good, man.
Yeah. You can't beat of Super Minds or a bit of U2 either.
Oh no, not as good though. Sorry.
I don't know. Don't You Forget About Me is a great song.
It's a good song, but Lincoln Park
it was actually used in the ending of Bumblebee. Just Anthony Swimman, so Anthony, great big up. I just can't see Levy leaving. I don't know offhand how much shares he's got or his relationship is with Joe Lewis. Well, Joe Lewis owns 70% of Tottenham. And Daniel Levy owns 20% of Tottenham.
26%, I think. 26%.
Yeah, 26%. Now, the relationship is he's married to his granddaughter or goddaughter.
He's Joe Lewis is Daniel Levy's godfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's married. I think he could be married to a relation of his as well. I'm not quite sure.
So there's
was passing his knee yesterday.
Yeah, saying dear Mr. Levy. If that was me, she'd be chucking a rocket under his ass. Can someone enlighten me? Others like it. Yeah, that's it. Mia, would you have been saying there, Mr. Levy, patting his knee, or what would you be saying if you were Mrs. Levy yesterday?
Do you know what? It's difficult because you're trying to tell me to be in a position, obviously, that none of us really want to really think about, is to be touching Daniel Levy that closely, which I don't think I'd want to do in his bald head, not for me. But I think that she obviously is going to feel a bit sorry for him because she loves him, and she's going to feel bad for the guy, isn't she? Because she loves him, just like when any of us have had somebody we love, we don't want them to be upset. So I can kind of see why she would do it. If it was me, I'll probably, as his wife, do the same. Like, you can't really disrespect her for that because, you know, that's his wife.
She is paid executive at the Tottenham board, and her brother, the bald head fella who looks like Mr. Hitman.
Yeah.
You know, that's her brother.
Oh, okay.
So he's got a cushy number.
The thing is,
Oh.
if I had a business and I could make sure my family was sorted in good jobs, I would do it. So
Yeah,
again,
I think we all would.
I think we'd all do that.
I
So
think we all would in a
I'd
way. What
like
you say,
I'd like to say that what she should have gone home with Daniel Levy last night and said, Daniel, do you really need this aggro? We've had enough of this. Why don't you just sell up and get out of it and go and live in our 25,000 square foot house in the Bahamas that we're building at the moment? That's what I do, you know.
Yeah,
If
but
I
that's
saw
what I'm
that
saying.
animosity coming in towards me, I would do that.
But Philip, you're coming from a fan's point of view, not her point. Like that's what I'm trying to say. It's difficult to be in her from her point of view,
Sure,
isn't it?
like,
Like, yeah.
I wouldn't like any member of my family to undergo that sort of stress. I mean, like, you know, listen, we all give out about Daniel Levy and whatever he's done and hasn't done. He is a human being and has got feelings, and that must have absolutely crucified him yesterday to see that happening. You know, I don't like seeing that happen to anybody, but the results, the way to resolve it is to move away from it.
Yeah,
and it
no,
won't
I
happen
get that.
anymore. You know,
Alan Sugar did. Alan Sugar
did,
moved
yeah.
away from it.
Yeah.
I didn't know till last night. Enoch tried to buy Tottenham in 1998, and he refused. And 1999.
Yeah, that's right. He did. Yeah.
So
he
they
did.
got it on the third time of.
They had a small stake in it at that stage, I think.
Yeah,
they had a
small stake.
in it.
Yeah. They actually came in with him when Terry Venables and him bought Save the Club. They had a stake in that. They actually were one of the shareholders at the beginning back in 91. So they've been in there since then. David Clark says, yes, they proved that most of these players are not good enough because only one change Brentford coach made was told these players to press up higher the pitch. And when they did, Spurs, exactly.
They didn't just do that. I think he made midfield changes as well, didn't he, to change it up because he felt like his midfield wasn't doing what they were supposed to do. So he made those changes, and Mason couldn't counteract those changes.
Yeah, Ben Davis said it exactly. He was interviewed after the match, and he says everything was grand in the first half, but at halftime Brentford made tactical changes, and we weren't able to cope with them. That's basically what he said. Which I put down to Mason's coaching. He should have known Brentford were going to change it around in the second half, but he didn't. It's like Conte against Man City when we were 2-0 up. We all knew what was coming in the second half, but he didn't. He didn't make the change when he should have done.
We've got Wayne Bonner, Swim Master. Interesting point. I wonder what the relationship between Levy and Lewis is regarding the club. We just explained he's his godson. So we'll go into that later.
Are they arguing? Are they on the one wavelength now, or are they on different wavelengths?
I think Daniel. I don't think Joe. I don't think Joe Lewis knows which days a week it is. To be fair, Metallica. Sad but true by Wayne Bonner. That's true. That DJ Samuel. Good afternoon, Coys. Pet Shop Boys. Go West. No, for me it'd have to be West End Girls for me, and Always on My Mind. I love their cover of Always on My Mind, actually, the Pet Shop Boys. But I was watching them last night in concert. Fucking great concert. Peter M. Is the Goonish the new Spursy? Yeah, Spurs.
No, RC. That's what we call it.
Yeah, RC is true. I heard Arsenal owners are looking to invest into ball making companies.
Yeah, Irish bottlers are going to be the new sponsors next year.
Yeah. We've got Daniel Sandoval, big up, good afternoon, all one for love. David Clark was Lee Gunner's pod yesterday where he praised Poch for getting 86 points when we were second behind Chelsea, which Arsenal can't reach this season. That's actually a very good point.
That's right. 84, I think most of I think.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? I've got an antidote to soccer, and it's happening. It's just so lucky it's happening on Tuesday. I'm going to the 3 Arena on Tuesday evening, where Katie Taylor had her fight last night, to see one of the great rock and roll stars of all time, my ultimate hero, John Fogerty. For those of you that are old enough to remember Creedence Clearwater Revival, and this is the guy that wrote, Status Quo didn't write it, he wrote Rockin' All Over the World.
Did he really?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I never knew that.
75, yeah. So I'm going to see him on Tuesday night, and it's like a pilgrimage for me. So it's like you and Duran Dermot, or, you know.
Yeah. I sadly couldn't get.
I'm going to forget all about Tottenham and just concentrate on that.
I sadly couldn't get to Duran due to family commitment, but I was so disappointed. I love Duran. I'm a massive Duran fan. Have been since I was a wee kid. Them and Madness. I love Madness as well. I think they're great crack. Our House is my favorite song. I just love the start of it.
Anyone who wants some real rock and roll, just check out John Fogerty on YouTube. Some brilliant stuff up there.
Yeah. We've got Wayne Bunner. GAA. There's a GAA club across from me. Wayne, go there. Just go there, Wayne. Introduce yourself as the man from from THFC Till I Die, from the Irish side from Ireland, from across the water, and say you are a Mayo fan, and they will welcome you with open arms. They may laugh at you, but they will welcome you.
They'll probably say 1951. Is that the last time you won that?
Yeah. If you say you're from Leitrim or Wexford, they may just walk away from you. So just say from Mayo. Yeah, just say from Mayo. Yeah. And Wexford is still the number 1 county in Ireland, if Dave's watching. I'm surprised Philip didn't say anything there.
I'm saying that, and I'll keep you out of that one.
No, well, Leitrim's number 3, so there you go. That's Daniel Levy's song, Simple Minds. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Wayne Bonnet, you two, where the Spurs have no game. Oh, I like that. That's a good one.
Oh, the Spurs have no manager.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll just see who else is in, Philip, before we get on. We've got Andrew Gregory. Tracy was probably saying to Levy, never mind, Daniel, you will get your 1 million performance bonus. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Who else has popped in? And Andrew Gregory.
Is that what she has to do? Is that what she has to do when she goes to bed with him? Give him a performance bonus to make him feel better?
Yeah. I'll carry on. Andrew Gregory, you were one lucky man that saw that concert. I have to say, the video was. They played there twice, 1970 and 1971. Which one were you at? Let me know.
Oh God! I'll tell you, Mia. You, Mia, got the same sort of filthy sense of humour. I think.
I'll have to be moderate. I have to moderate this chat now before we get cut off.
Oh God! Now I didn't give details. I was being very kind of careful of what I said. So
that's for an after 9 o'clock show.
After midnight.
I've just got that vision in my head. Come on, Daniel, it's performance time.
She probably rubs his bald head. So that'd be like him gets all happy.
I hope he performs better than the team did. They should be very disappointed.
Oh Lord God. Oh Lord. Oh Jesus. Oh me, you're all funny. Wayne Bonnet Dermot, not Mayo, my man's from Tipperary. Tipperary's not bad. Big up Tip. It's a long way from Tipperary as they used to. Do you know what, Philip? That's one thing that gets up my nose, right? The English Army in the Second World War used to think it's a long, long way from Tipperary, right?
Yeah, First World War, actually.
Yeah. Half the fuckers never went there. No wonder it's a long, long way
from them. It was just a song they adapted, you know?
I know. It's quite funny. David Clark, well, Davis is allowed to open his cuttings. What's that? Well, Davis allowed his cut and sew without tackling him. The bloke. I said this yesterday, but we're not going there. But I did say this yesterday, Philip, and you sort of disagree. But well, that's for a different thing. So there's no way Joe Lewis is going to sack his godson relation. Then Levy will go when he wants to go, not before. Not saying the protest won't push him in that direction, but down to Levy. Yeah, exactly. Big up Ben Kaufman. Thank you for being the head member of the Wexford Tourism. Yeah, the Wrexham Tourism Board, and also Purple and Gold to Tottenham are sold. You could not have picked better colours, and Wexford is very proud to be part of this sort of momentum as we did rise with the lads in the Easter Rising. We know how to rise to a rebellion. DJ Samuel saying he's laughing at you, Mia. With your performance enhancing joke. Oh, you've got that stuck in my head now. I'll tell you one thing, Mia, that's funny.
I could go even further with it, but I'm going to keep it clean, like I say.
I was going to say, maybe Spurs are looking for a new sponsor next season. Maybe Viagra can come in and do it.
Or Durex.
Yeah, that's it. That's indeed. Andrew Gregory, 1971, good man.
Yeah.
Good man.
If they want to do a sex education video, just put Daniel Levy on the screen. If you don't want to get pregnant, look at this man.
Put him on the boxes. Put him on boxes of protection.
Yeah.
Oh,
don't be a Levy.
Joe, I can imagine little pictures of like little Levy sperms being like his little heads.
Oh, dear.
Oh Lord, I knew this show would go south very quickly.
It's when I come on. I do apologise.
Oh, no,
My
no,
apologies.
it's actually good fun. It lightens the mood up. We've been quite depressed, so we need a bit of
We
fun.
were so depressed yesterday. It's good to have a bit of a laugh.
Wayne Bonner says, "Oh, filthy sense of humour. Now you're talking my language. When's the special stream? Look, we actually are going to do one in the one Saturday. We are going to do one Saturday, so don't worry about that." Daniel Clark, when Daniel Levy was a child, he was playing with his rocket. His mum said, "What are you doing?" He said, I want to be shot into space." His mum said, "If your dad did what he was told, you would have been."
Oh, dear.
Oh, right. Okay. Yes.
Gee.
Just to let you know, we get back on the subject, slightly back on the subject. West Ham 1, Leeds 1 is a half-time score.
I'm starring that. That is fucking brilliant.
That's really good. That's really good.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's just. Philip, just take over for a minute, will you?
Well, hang on a bit now. Let's just go. We'll keep carrying on a bit here. Just seeing what the next comment is. I think I've lost him. Yeah.
I'm John Fitzpatrick. Big up my Irish brother. Hope you're well. Ryan Bonner says David Clark, love it. And Peter Rem says we need some humour today. Oh boy, don't we? Right, guys. David, that is the best one yet. I have to say you're a funny man. We've got Audie Austin. What did you think of the Lap of Honour? To be fair, I didn't watch it. If I did, I would have booed them. There weren't many people there.
The club put up, but actually there was quite a few left. There must have been a good few waiting for the women. They actually won their match 4-1. Thank God for that. But and the club put up a video of Lucas Moura going around with his wife and kids, and there was quite a few people left. I was surprised. I didn't think there'd be as many, you know. But I think whenever they went to show the highlights of the season, there was quite a few boos came up from the crowd.
Yeah,
that kind of summed it up a bit, you know.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Right, let's crack on with the show, Philip. What's the first topic we want to talk about? Right, Philip. Look, we had it said yesterday. Come up in the group chat that that there will be some contracts torn up. I mean, I don't know if you've got it there or you read it.
No, it was Peter, one of the in the nose put it up that he reckoned there was going to be a massive sea change at Tottenham during the summer. And
I can read the message I can get it up like on my phone and read it.
Can you share it to me, Mia? Can you bring it up on the screen so everyone can see it?
Hold on, I'll just send it to you because I haven't got my phone connected right here.
I'll just read it out, Mia. It's fine. Just read it out, it's grand.
Oh. It said in the next few days and weeks there are going to be announced several contracts torn up. The rebuild is ginormous, and Paul O'Keefe doesn't tend to say stuff for like no reason. He's actually pretty good. So that's very interesting.
So where do you think this will be going then, Philip? Where do you think it will start?
Well, I mean, I've given you a list there of the players that I feel should be.
Going to bring them up actually. Yeah,
these are the players I think should leave the club, either contract torn up or sold. Ben Davis, even though he only signed a 3-year contract, he needs to be sold. Eric Dyer, tear up his new contract before it's even written. He needs to be sold. Joe Rodon's going nowhere, although he's playing for Rennes today. He's gone. And Dombele, well, we don't want him back. Sessegnon might as well not be there for all he's done. Perisic was always going to be a short-term solution, so I think he'll go back to Inter Milan. Lloris, we know, is gone. Now, this one I'm sad to say, Troy Parrott, I don't think he's got a future at Tottenham. I think he's got to go. And Sanchez, we all know. So that's 9 players off the books, right? The only ones that I would keep, I may have missed out some of the ones that are on loan, but the ones I would keep would be, I'd keep Lo Celso. I think he can do a job for us. I would keep Sergio Reguilon to give a bit of competition to Destiny Udogie on the left-hand side. Because if we get rid of Sessegnon and Perisic, we're going to be short there. And I would also keep Dane Scarlett. Because Dane Scarlett apparently has bulked up and built up his stamina and his body weight and everything down at Portsmouth. And I think he can do a job for us. But as for those guys on the list, Bye-bye.
Yeah. Mia, look, we're still looking for a director of football. Who has to take responsibility for getting rid of these players down below that Philip wants to get rid of?
It would be surely down to the director of football. So when he comes in, because we're going to apparently announce this quite soon. So I
Yeah.
presume that he will have and the new manager will have to decide who they want to keep and who they don't, I guess, because that's what we did with Poch, right? We said to Poch, who did you want to go and who do you want to keep? And we did allow him to get rid of a lot of players. So, yeah.
Look, I agree with you, Philip. Davis needs to go. Dyer definitely needs to go. Roden needs to go. Dombele. Do you know what? I'm a little bit on the 50-50 with him. He didn't do too bad at Napoli, what I saw of him.
Slower
Now,
pace of the game and everything.
I know it's a slower pace, but he is one of them players that can change a game for you like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But his attitude's got to change though. So it depends who we get in. If we get in a manager that's going to keep him on the straight and narrow.
Yeah, I suppose if we lose him, if he's sold, we're going to take a horrendous financial hit on him.
Yeah, we
so
are.
If a manager did come in that could actually work with a guy, then you could be right, Dermot. I just put him there because of all the negativity about him. But you're quite right. The right person coming in to manage the club might be able to transform him. You never know.
And I agree. Segi needs to go. He's never played anyway. Perisic, I think, is too old. Lloris, well, he's going anyway because he's just. Mia knows my opinions on Lloris. We had a little talk about him yesterday on Dave's channel, which I enjoyed. Troy Parrott, Philip, this is one that I'm really disappointed over.
Yeah.
I am so disappointed over because the lad had potential, and we know he had potential. You look what he's done for when he's played for us. He's had potential, and he got in with the wrong crowd, the wrong people, and he's blown his potential. And as for Sanchez, well, the sooner Sanchez can leave the club, the better. A bit like Dyer, I will put them in the car and drive them to the North Pole and leave them there. Mia, do you agree with Philip's list here? And would you add anybody else onto that list?
Do you know what? It's quite hard. I would say, all of them ones are ones I personally would get rid of. And probably it's really hard. People are not going to probably appreciate this, but I think Hill, I don't know if he would be maybe one that we should loan out again, but not in Spain, because I feel like he's probably needs a little bit more. Do you know? Like, I feel like he needs to bulk up a little bit and get a bit more like sternness about him, because he's a bit kind of like blow him over in the wind. Do you know what I mean? He's probably one that I would send out maybe on a loan more than anything. But other than that, I'm trying to think if I would probably get rid of Højbjerg. I think Højbjerg's not good enough, and we need to bring somebody else in, and we're going to be really over midfielded otherwise as well, because we have got Skip, Sarr, Benny, Basuma, and if we bring somebody else in, I feel like that's a lot of people. So I would probably get rid of Højbjerg as well. And I know that's an unpopular opinion with some people, but for me, he's just not good enough, really.
Yeah, well, we've got a few people putting the list in the chat there, Philip. So shall I bring them up and see?
Brian Hill. I think Seville will probably want to buy Brian Hill this summer. They're in a European final again, and he was tantamount getting them there. And it was lovely to see him crossing the ball for Eric Lamela to score the winning goal. So I think we might not have an option on Hill. We might just sell him. I forgot to put him on my list, actually.
Please,
let's have a look to see who's coming in. By the way, bad news for us. Brighton have taken the lead against Southampton. So
please, Gil Messi, stay at Tottenham. Stay at Tottenham. Right, we've got Daryl Dilton here, Philip. He's gone for Sanchez, Tantanga, Perisic, Lo Celso, Dombele, Dyer, might need to go first list.
Yeah, I didn't put Tanganga on my list. I think he might be handy enough to hang around as a squad player.
Yeah.
The Chelsea is the one, the Chelsea is the one I think could do a job for us. But the only thing I'm wrong with the Chelsea, I believe his attitude was very poor when he was here the first time.
Yeah.
But again, that could be down to the management that they had at the time.
Do you know what? I would actually rather have Longley stay than I would Tanganga. Tanganga.
I'm keeping Longley anyway. Because
I heard a few people yesterday saying Longley needs to go. He's useless. Look, for me, when Longley played with Romero against Crystal Palace, Romero looked the calmest I've ever seen him. in a back four. He looked comfortable, and that was down to Longley. We've got Peter M here. He's gone for Dyer, Davis, Luis, Sanchez, Nobelier, Winks, Perisic, Segerson at
Pretty much
Segi
the
at least.
same as my list. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. DJ Samuel saying 5,000% Eric Dyer.
5,000,000%.
David Clark. Peter Ram also says so is a keep. Reglon could be useful as the dangers unless someone makes a good offer for him.
Fair enough. That's fair comment. Yeah.
It is. We've got Dara Clark. Big up, Dara. Hope you're doing well, sir. First time I've seen you in the chat for a while, so look, I hope you're doing well. Parrott should stay. He's a great prospect for both Ireland and Spurs. He will be next. Yeah, right. Okay.
I'd love to see him right there, but I'm afraid I don't think I've seen enough to think Troy Parrott will make it, I suppose.
Can I just say one thing? Put Troy Parrott and Mo Salah in the same breath is an insult to Mo Salah. To be fair, it really is. I don't know what you see in Troy, but me and Philip, Philly, I was calling him, but Philip, we see him quite regularly for Ireland, and we haven't really been impressed, have we, when he's played for us, has he?
He's probably been, but he scored a goal for Ireland that kept against Lithuania. He scored a brilliant goal for Ireland. He has, but I think the problem with Troy Parrott, as we all know, it's his well-documented company that he was keeping there when he was a young lad, and he got in with the wrong crowd. And as we all know, that can wreck a player's career. Look at Dele Alli. So from that point of view, he went to Preston, and we thought he'd do very well. He did, and he scored a couple of goals and got injured. And I just don't think. I don't think he'll cut the grade with a new manager at Tottenham. I think he'd be sold.
Did me?
We forgot Harry Winks on that list. Jesus.
Yeah, Winks is coming up a few.
Oh no, he's number one. Get rid of him. Whiteman and Austin. I wouldn't believe that. I wouldn't get rid of Whiteman and Austin, but that's two of the goalkeepers gone. He was very thin.
Look, Colin is actually going for the juggler. He says sell Kane and Son.
Right, okay. I'll tell you what, we'll do a swap for Rashford and who else up there can we get? Rashford and let me see. I don't know who else now.
The fella in midfield starts with the C.
Cavallera. Yeah. So we'll swap for them.
Yeah, there you go. What do you reckon, Mia? Well, who would you swap for Kane and Son at Man United?
Oh, do you know what? As much as I hate him and he's a little rat, I like Bruno, even though he's a bit of a ratty kind of like he gets on my nerves. But I think if he plays for you, you love him. He's one of those players, and of course Rashford. But that's not going to happen. So, Colin, you can keep those thoughts to yourself because we don't want to hear it. All right?
Bruno should be playing for us, and Levy wouldn't pay the transfer fee.
We'll give you Maguire and Wing.
My God. No, it's okay. There's enough lampposts in Tottenham. We don't need Legos.
Thank you. We've got big up Lazy 8. This man, Nick, I've got so much respect for you, sir. You really are one of the nicest people on YouTube you ran. I enjoyed the time I spent with you at Tottenham. Really had a good night, even with the tequila, which killed me the next morning, which, to be fair...
I'm surprised you remember too much about that night, Dermot, from what I hear. I'm surprised you remember too much about that night from what you've been saying.
Yeah, I woke up the next morning. Instead of going through the door, I went to a wall. I walked straight into it. That's how hungover I was. But big up, Lazy. Big up, Nick. I hope you're doing well and your family's doing well. Big up, panel. Wasn't the wrong crowd that Parrott got in with. In fact, Daddy Alley. It's true.
It's a lot more serious than that, I'm afraid.
Well, do you want to give a bit of background to that, Philip?
Yeah. Troy Parrott was born in the inner city of Dublin, near it's an area near the Five Lamps in the north side of Dublin, and it would be classed as an underprivileged area, really. And the guy has done brilliantly to get where he is, but he got involved with a family called the Kinahans. Now you may have heard of them. They're one of the leading crime families in Dublin. Now he got involved with the lower end of that, the young kids in that family of his own age. But of course, the press got hold of this, and if you were to believe what you were reading, I swear he was a full-blown member of the Kinahan gang, which he wasn't. But these guys hung around with him because he was a professional footballer in London and whatever. It just got him a bad name, and he's finding it hard to get rid of that reputation now.
Yeah, it is. So that sort of gives you a sort of background to that. We've got and then Nick says, had a great time too, Dom. At least we have a wonderful photo to jog our memories. Yeah, I was doing all right until the tequila, to be fair, and then after the tequila, it's very hazy. I remember going to get a burger with Dave, Jack, and Ellie, and my card wouldn't work, but went to a cash machine then about an hour later, and it worked. It was quite funny. I just thank God McDonald's was round the corner that morning, because I definitely needed a McDonald's that morning. Andrew Gregory says Martinez, him and Romero are a rock for Argentina. And Mia, look, I'm not going to go into the Romero because I know what you think of Romero, and you would take him into a dark room and do all sorts of things to him. But if you were to get a goalkeeper that he plays for his country, would you think that would be a good thing to have somebody like a Martinez with a Romero to play week in, week out for Argentina? And they did so well in the World Cup. He played so well in the World Cup as well. Would you like him at Tottenham?
No, I'm not really a big fan of Martinez, although I think Houser is great. I just think there's better keepers out there, and I understand why people want to say, oh, because of Romero and being Argentinian with Martinez, but I don't know, like, it's not for me. I would actually, like I say, rather have somebody else, to be honest.
Yeah, Philip, what about you?
Not really, but I think I agree with Mia. Like, Martinez is brilliant in the World Cup, but he's done not much since. So yeah, I think that's a stick with Romero. You know,
I have to disagree with the pair of you. I think having Martinez, Romero trusts him. He knows what he's like, and for his bit of kidology, I think it's what we need in the back four.
But if he's not the best goalkeeper for our team, why just base it on one player? Like, I understand, but it's just one player, and it's just to base it all on that when I don't think he's the kind of keeper that we need. It's just something.
Yeah. He's a very arrogant individual. If you've seen him, he's. I think I'll put me off him. The fact he played for Arsenal is enough. But remember when he went up to collect his World Cup winners' medal, he made that kind of gesture.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And I watched him yesterday. He got booked playing for Villa against Liverpool. He should have been sent off, the amount of time he was wasting. Every time he got the ball, he dropped to the ground as if he'd been shot. I just thought something about the guy I don't like. I don't like him.
But like Nick says here, from Lazy Out says here, from everything I've seen when they're on the pitch, Romero and Martinez have a strong relationship, and that's what you need. You need a goalkeeper.
He's a strong relationship with Lionel Messi as well. We're not going to sign Lionel Messi, are we?
Well, he's on the free.
That Argentinian team is very well bonded together. You know.
Apparently, Colin wants us to sell Romero to Man United.
No.
Listen, I'm going to find you, and it will be really bad news for you, Colin. All right?
Do you want to use the Liam Neeson quote? Do you, Mia? Do you want me to get that up for you so you can read it to Colin?
I will find you. Yeah, like, honestly, no, just no, Colin. Like I say, it won't end well for you if I find you and speak about this to you face to face.
And Nick says, "Well, thanks for painting a clearer picture, Godfather. I had no idea that parrot backstory."
Yeah,
and that is true. Look, very quickly, younger kids that come through the system, Philip, or come through to teams, and it doesn't have to be Ireland, England as well, or Italy, or wherever. They do get mixed up in the run. They can get mixed up in the wrong crowd because of who they're associated with. You look at Maradona, went to Napoli, and look what he got caught up in because he was Diego Maradona.
They're an easy target. They're earning big. They're probably earning 50 times what they'd earn through a normal job at their age. You know, I think Troy Parrott's on something like 10 to 15 grand a week at the moment, which isn't huge, but you know, what guys at 20 years of age are earning that sort of money, and the hangers-on kind of gravitate to them, and unless you've got a good sense of sniffing out the genuine ones from the staff, you're gonna go along with it. So I don't blame Parrott so much for it, but I think he's made he'd probably end up going to a championship side next season or something like that. You know?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get something up here. Hang on, so Mia can read it. The column. Where is it now? Hang on. Hang on. Where is it?
Simpson got sacked as Football Manager.
He did. I read that.
I hope you get compensation from them, Carl. Hit them for a compensation fee.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that quote for you. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I found it. It says, "Go on." I can't find the quote anyway. I will find it and I will bring it up before the end of the show, so Mia
I
can
will
read that.
find it and I will bring it up.
Yeah, God, I think it's a grand damn Mia's gone through Liam Neeson again. And let us know, Carl. Why did you get sacked from Hull then? For what happened? Did you get relegated? Did you not get promotion? Do you know what I mean? Just let us know, Carl. But
I hope
enjoy.
he wasn't caught with the chairman's wife.
Now that could be a way to get rid of Daniel Levy. Philip, are you up to the? Will you accept the mission?
No. No, thanks.
This mission, if you choose to accept it. We're talking about.
It's like a kamikaze. It's like a Japanese kamikaze pilot. You never come back.
Right. Where should we go next, Philip? Do you want to talk about the memberships?
Yes, this is
Now this is the crux of the show now. Why we're on about this.
like
Now
things are bad enough.
Yeah, well, I got an email about 3 days ago. I think you got the same email as well, Philip.
Yeah.
I don't know if one of us can bring it up, if you can, or what it was anyway. It was to say that your membership's up for renewal. Now, our memberships have gone up. It cost me €50 last year for a full season membership for the Hotspur membership. This year, I have to pay €61 for a full Hotspur membership. Now, I cannot afford a season ticket, and if I got a season ticket anyway, it wouldn't be worth for me because I live in Ireland. So I get a membership so I can get over to see the games I want to get. But times are tough. Food prices are high, energies are high, food prices are going up. We've got the war in Ukraine, which is putting energy prices through the roof. People are finding it hard out there. Now, okay. So most clubs are keeping their prices the same or decreasing them a little bit just to help the people out because they're finding it tough. Not Mr. Levy and not Tottenham. What did they do? They increase our memberships. Now, Philip, look, we it costs us enough to get from Ireland to England anyway to go and watch a match.
Yeah.
So if you put in the plane fare, the ticket we have to pay for, then the drinks when we get there, or if you're not drinking, some food, whatever, you're looking at nearly €300-400 just for a day. So, go on.
No, I think, and the problem is a lot of One Hotspur members like ourselves, and there's probably guys living in Thailand, New Zealand, Australia, Japan, there are One Hotspur members, and have no chance of getting to a match, right? So they're being charged extra 20% on average, right, for the privilege of being a One Hotspur member. And are they ever going to do any of the following, right? Are they going to get priority booking access to our exciting new karting experience?
Hang on, Philip. I'll bring it up here. I've got it on the screen here. Here we go.
Yeah, there you are. So there's the thing. I mean, most of those things you won't be able to use. Okay, the one I like best is designated 15% discount days in the Spurs shop or online, right? Special offers on discounts from our partners. There is nothing in there that justifies a 20% roughly increase in the price of your membership, right? It's not as if the membership's costing any extra.
No.
It's exactly the same as last year. The fact they're giving you a $5 off a Spurs shirt, which is vastly overpriced anyway. They probably buy the shirts for €15, 15 quid, and sell them for 70. It's an absolute joke. People's mortgages are going through the roof. Cost of living is going through the roof. People cannot afford this. And for the club to come along and announce this in the week that we probably lose out on European football is absolutely criminal. Is there anybody in that PR department that has a clue what they're doing? Because it seems to me they're walking around like headless chickens with their head up their arse. I'm just fed up with it.
This is the best bit at the end. Access to a money can't buy One Hotspur Moments program includes a chance to meet the players and go behind the scenes at the club.
Oh, absolutely wonderful.
Oh, wow. I really want that. So I can go and punch Eric Dyer in the nose for being a knobhead.
what I'd love is I'd also like is a priority window to purchase a match ticket and exclusive access to buy on the club's official ticket exchange. That's fine. What if you're living in New Zealand? Is that any good to you? Not a bit.
No.
You know.
Mia, for somebody that lives in England, right, who doesn't live too far from Tottenham, well, a couple of hours, I take it on the train ride, right? What's your thought of all this for the fans like myself and Philip and Dave and Jack and Nick in America, or people in Europe or Thailand? What's your thinking on this? It's absolutely criminal, isn't it? Ryan McFarlane puts it perfectly. They treat us fans with such contempt.
The thing is, what I don't understand is that a lot of the clubs in England in the Premier League have actually increased their ticket prices where we didn't, but then we're giving with one hand and taking with the other. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense to do that because it just makes them look really bad by doing that. So that's why I don't understand why they made this big hoo-ha about freezing the ticket prices, you know, and then do that. It just, it doesn't really make much sense in my opinion.
Our ticket prices are already the highest in the country anyway, so you know there wasn't much. I can see why they didn't raise them.
I understand that, but if you look at all the other clubs have raised them by quite a bit, like they've all raised them, and like that's the regular thing for people to do. Like that's what they regularly do. So I'm not saying that obviously they should have not disagreeing with them freezing the prices, and obviously we've got high ticket prices. But what I'm trying to say is it just makes no sense to do that and then just say, by the way, the One Hotspur memberships are going up. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it don't make sense.
Can I give you an example here? I've just looked at Bayern Munich's season ticket prices. Now, Bayern Munich are one of the most successful clubs in Europe. They've got one of the best stadiums in Europe, second only to our own, I would say. I haven't been in it once. They have 38,000 season tickets available. They have a designated standing area. You can buy a standing area season ticket for Bayern Munich for 145 euros. And you can buy a seated standing ticket for 350 euros. Now, compare that to what Spurs are charging. It's buttons.
I mean, you look at it there, Philip. They put it into a nice little bow. £15 or £20 welcome gift voucher to spend on our online shop, right? An increase of €5. Wowee. A new £15 gift voucher to be used on a visitor attraction, such as Stadium Tour, the Dare Skywalk, or the Edge adult members only. Wowee. Priority booking, as you said, and this is the best bit, priority booking access to our exciting new karting experience, the world's first in-stadium electric karting facility and partnership with Formula One coming soon. We come from Ireland to Tottenham, right? We haven't got a time to scratch our bloody backsides before we have to get there, go and see a game, and get back to the airport to get a plane back home.
Yeah,
we won't have time to go go-karting.
No, unless you go for the night before or stay a night, which is going to add 200 quid to the cost of your ticket, you know? And you're quite right there. You're quite right. And there's something else I was going to say there about you see the 10 quid off buying something online. Then they'll charge you 10 quid postage. So you don't really save anything on the item itself.
No.
You know, so
it's ridiculous. And they put all this as saying this is why we're increasing it.
Yeah,
but it's ridiculous.
It's not.
I mean, does Levy think, or do Enid think, or do people in the club think we're mugs? Seriously.
Well, what's needed there is you need to have. I don't know how many One Hotspur members there are, but you need about 25 to 30% of them not to renew, and then that will hold the club. I have seen cases where people have refused to renew. Now, I'm like a mug. I'm going to renew it because I want to see a game next season. But there are people that will not renew it, can't afford to renew it, and it's terrible. I mean, at the end of the start, they take the money on the 30th of the month, right? End of the month is when most people's mortgages come out of their account.
Yeah,
you know, it's just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, Nick says here, Mia, been supporting Spurs since 2012, been a member 8 years in a row, up to 2023. I cannot in good conscience renew for next season.
And Nick, I'd say you're not the only one. I'd say there's thousands of people staying exactly the same.
And also David Clark, I've cancelled my One Hotspur membership. Levy emailed me that if I cancel it, then I would lose my place in queue for a season ticket. We'll never get it back. Well, Levy, you know where to put it.
The thing is, I think that like none of us are defending it. To be fair, like we know, like I say, I find it just incomprehensible. Like I just don't get it. I don't understand why they would do such a silly thing, because it just looks silly after they said big thing about we've frozen the prices of the tickets, and then just to do that, it's just it's silly, isn't it? Really silly.
I don't know what Tequila's saying here.
I'll tell you what he's saying, because basically they said the reason that Romero weren't in the team yet was because he's yesterday because he was taken by me, and I said I haven't taken him yet.
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Please concentrate in the search in the Dover area.
Yeah. If you are listening, Romero, and Mia's address will be emailed to you privately through private messenger. And we won't see Mia for about 3 months.
Is that not something? I can hear someone banging on a door in Mia's house. Let me out! Let me out!
Yeah, that's.
Shh! It's in the basement. Stop saying, Philip. For goodness' sake, it's taking my sickness away.
She's even got Eric Dyer there, but she doesn't want people to know about that.
Eric Dyer will be going in the boat somewhere. I'll put him on a little dinghy in the sea down. I'll chuck him out at Dover. I'll just chuck him out there.
Yeah. We won't be going down that conversational route because that's a bit controversial at the moment.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant obviously off the beach, because I can just let him stay in a little boat. He can be in that.
I know what you're saying.
Ellie's saying it's all in.
Yeah, Ellie says, do you want to read this out, Philip? Go on.
Yeah, Ellie's saying, I'm making that call to voice my disgruntled views on the One Hotspur membership rise, as when I called and they had closed the lines. Well, that looks to me as if they're inundated with complaints, and maybe that's why they just shut the lines down. Which is sad, really, because people might have a query that they want answered. Now they can't get through because of the complaints that are coming in. And why are the complaints coming in? Because you put the price up.
Look, I think it's Mr. Levy gone fucking mad here. To be fair, I think they're so disconnected from the fan base, Philip and Mia.
Yeah, that's it. That's total disconnection. They should be saying, right, lads, because this season has been so disappointing, because we have 3 managers, because we're not going to qualify for Europe, we're going to reduce the One Hotspur membership by $5. That would cause such good feeling around the fan base. Instead of this mess by putting it up by 20% and causing nothing but aggro. Yeah. It's total misreading the situation and disconnect, as you say.
Mia, where do you want to see the club to do? There's going to be a backlash, but look, at the end of the day, myself and Philip will have to pay it because we want to go and see matches next season. There's people across the world that are going to have to pay it. Do you know, is it a thing of that Levy and Enoch think, well, look, we're going to increase it, but people are going to pay it anyway. And if they don't pay it, and if they do make a stand, there's going to be somebody else come in and pay it to take their place.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? We don't know how many members there are, but I suppose that's kind of like they kind of know they've kind of got you held over a barrel, isn't it, in a way, and that's not good. But it is what it is with that, and they probably do know that, absolutely.
Peter Rem says, it's not just Spurs. The whole Premier League's becoming a huge cash machine, totally dejected from its fans. Yeah. Philip, look. We all can remember, 3 of us, the old First Division, the old, before the Premier League.
Yeah.
Do you think the Premier League has a lot to answer for what we're seeing now in football?
I think the Sky TV money has more to answer for, to be honest. But that's
Alan Sugar has a lot to say for that as well, by the way.
Sorry?
Alan Sugar has an awful lot to say.
Yeah, because Alan Sugar was one of the. You know the story. Just to diverse slightly. There wasn't universal approval for the Sky deal whenever the Premiership started, but Alan Sugar, because Amstrad supplied all the Sky dishes at the time, so that's why he was so much in favour of us, But the Sky money has really caused a problem here. I mean, I think don't they call the Championship game is coming up now between Luton and Coventry. That game is worth 100 million quid to the winning team, right? Now that's the money they will earn being in the Premiership, and that is obscene compared to what was going around in 1992. It's the money. The comment there about being detached is totally right. The Sky money has caused a total detachment. It's business, not football. Spurs are probably one of, I wouldn't say every club in the Premiership is the same boat, but I'm saying a good few of them are. Manchester City, Man United, all the bigger clubs. It's the mighty dollar is all that's been thought about here. It's not the how are we going to keep our fans happy? Are we going to keep the prices down low? Are we going to reduce the prices? Are we going to keep the price of a pint at such and such in the state? That'll be the next thing now. You'll find the price of the pint in the stadium will go up another quid the next season. It'll be kind of put in stealthily. So money is the root of the problem in football at the minute. And profit over success is the way I put it.
Yeah.
I'm probably rambling a bit there, but you know what I'm coming from.
No, look, for me, Alan Sugar went over to a phone box to ring Sky up.
Yeah.
And to say, look, this is what's happening, blow them out of the water.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, football now is a multi-billion is a business. And this is where the Super League comes into it, and all the other clubs have got richer. Mia, do you think the football fans have been forgotten? And it's all about corporate, it's all about businessmen in suits, it's all about the prawn. As Roy Keane once said, the prawn sandwich brigade.
I think what the problem is there's so much money in football now that it has to be that way, because it is just like that. Like David Clark just put in, Arsenal have raised theirs by 5%, Liverpool by 2%. You know, it is just a money game nowadays. Brighton by 4%. It really is like just a money game.
Look,
unfortunately.
I'm going to bring up your comments too, David, because you're making a very good point. I think he's saying like Brighton are gone up 4%, I think, in their ticket prices. Arsenal are up 5%. Liverpool have put a 2% rise. Peter Rem look, this is something that I'm going to actually need to speak to you this week about the Ireland game, Philip. Not everyone knows. I have a thing called a degenerative disc disease, which means my discs are crumbling in my back. Which now means that I walk, trying not to, but I do walk with a walking stick now, and I do have a wheelchair as and when I need it when my back gets bad. Now I have to go for an operation to get my back fused to fix the problem, which is a long time down the road. But I'm going to the Ireland game, and I know full well I don't think I'll be able to make it up to where we're going to sit up and where we've got our season tickets, and I have to think. Do I have to, with Aviva? We looked last night, there is disabled points around the Aviva that me and my companion, which would have to be one of you, will come and go in with me to watch the match. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm very stubborn, so I will try to go up to the steps. But there's people like Peter M. As a disabled fan, the only way I can watch football is on TV. But the price of Sky and BT Sports subs is prohibitive for many people. Premier League should have live games on terrestrial TV again. Philip, look, I'm. This is something very close to my heart. As a disabled with my back, I know what it's like getting into places, even going shopping. It's very difficult sometimes. If I'm doing the quick shop in with the walking stick, it's very hard to carry everything at one go, and I have to make sure everything's balanced because I don't want to hurt my back. Do you think there should be more live games on normal TV? Like years ago, there used to be Formula One on the BBC. There used to be football on IT. There used to be the big match, didn't it? Or Match of the Day live on the BBC. And I apologise if you can hear shout next door. It's my neighbours. Do you agree with Peter that there should be more TV on more free-to-air football or more free-to-air sport?
Yeah, absolutely do. And I completely sympathise with them as well. Because unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Now, you might get it maybe 1 week during the season. Someone like BT might show free-to-air games. Sky showed a few of them this season on one of their free channels, all right?
Yeah.
But you will never get the really, really bottom end of the season games, cup finals or semi-finals or important matches free. They're going to be kept for the high. It's very unfair. I mean, the Sky subscription keeps going up as well. I mean, I wouldn't like to tell you what I'm paying every month to it. It's a lot, And but I do it because I don't know why I do it. To be honest with you, I don't want to go down the route of doing an IPTV where you could get caught for they're technically illegal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I sympathize, but I don't see it changing anytime soon because as we talked about earlier, soccer is now a cash cow. There's money to be made, and the likes of Sky will coin it, and they don't really care about the ordinary man in the street. And for anyone that's got an invalidity, like Dermot, I sympathise with your situation. I know I've sat in the seat next to yours at the Aviva Stadium, and as I've said to you, you're going to have great difficulty getting up there because it's literally a vertical climb. It's so high up.
You know how I struggled the last time we went.
I've been there with you already. I know what it's like, and we're even higher up than we were that last time. So you know, you need to get on them to get your disabled access sorted out.
Damn you, Aviva, and damn you, the FAI. Right, Mia. Philip knows where I'm going. Damn you, Joe. What's his name again? That fella who
John Delaney.
John Delaney. Damn you, Mia. Look, I want to bring it back to Levy. Do you feel with Sky and with the money that's been pumped into the football now that the likes of a Daniel Levy or Mike Ashley or the Glazers and people like that just see football now as an investment instead as like a Jack Walker or Martin Edwards at Man United or the old Liverpool owners or even our old owners before Scholar, before Alan Sugar, that they saw football as the more we put into it, the more competitions we win, the more money we're going to get out of it. But now it's the more commercial we do, the more money we're going to have. Football doesn't matter. Do you think Sky has also brought that into our game?
Yeah, it is a massive. Again, Sky have made it that way, and it's not good, is it? Like that, it has turned out to be that way. But again, it's just because if we don't do the things we do commercially, then we're going to miss out. So like, you know, it's hard, isn't it? Because you want to be you don't want to miss out on those avenues of money. So the club has to sort of do it. It's just like all clubs are now getting more like involved with trying to make other streams of money, because even Man City, I think, are going to start going ahead and doing more things at their stadium, you know. So it is just one of those, because now it's happened. It's like we can't take it back. It's a bit like the internet. You can't take the internet back. Some of the things that now go on the internet, it's just like you didn't think when you first got internet that's going to happen, but here we are and we can't take it back.
No. And Philip, look, what's your final thought on this before we move on to our favourite subject, is the manager business? And
yeah, I mean it's money talks, bullshit walks, and the fan is the last person they're thinking of. I'm afraid they don't care. Can I just give a quick update here? Evan Ferguson has scored again for Brighton. There's 2 goals in the game. They're 2-0 up in Southampton. But the one that affects us more at the moment is Leeds are now losing 2-1 to West Ham, which means Leeds are going to be 2 points behind Everton should they lose. And Everton have the goal differences are almost identical. It's going to be incredibly tight who stays up. But I'm just thinking about a game next week against Leeds.
Yeah.
It could be a very difficult one.
Yeah, next week we're actually not going to do what we're going to do around the grounds, aren't we? Because we're going to keep an eye on the relegation.
We're going to keep an eye on the relegation things, because everything else is going to be sorted out as far as I think by then. Like at the minute, there are 4 teams. 4 teams trying to avoid 2 relegation places. There's Leicester, Leeds.
Safe, though.
Sorry, 3 teams. Sorry, 3 teams. Everton, Leeds, and Leicester.
Yeah,
Everton, Leeds, and Leicester.
If Leicester win tomorrow, do they go a point behind Everton?
If Leicester win tomorrow, they go level on points with Everton, right? And with a better goal difference. But Leicester are playing away to Newcastle. Can you actually see them winning? You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so tight. It's so tight.
This is the last. So go on, Philip.
Leeds are looking the most vulnerable at the moment, to be honest.
Anyway, well, look, we're going on to the last bit, and this is the bit, you know, manager latest, what to believe and what is bull. Beep. Philip, what do we believe?
Oh, it's hard to believe anything. I mean, like, this is I'm going to jump on my soapbox again here and attacking lazy journalism. mean, some of the if you went down through social media over the last couple of days, you could have anything up to 8 or 9 managers supposedly just about to take over at Spurs. Now, where are they getting this from? I'd say maybe 1 or 2 of them have probably got something accurate. The rest of them are just making it up as a strap line to sell a few papers. I mean, at the moment, like last night we heard that the Nagelsmann deal was back on again. I don't believe that for a minute. I think he's gone. I think it's going to be either Slot. I think it's going to be Slot. That's what I think he's going to be. Of course, that will depend on which director of football comes in. But there are just so many people jumping on the bandwagon and saying, "Oh, it's going to be him. It's going to be him. It's going to be him." And I even saw that Luis Enrique now is, according to one of the papers, is one of the favourites.
Yeah.
I mean, no. I think it's got to be Slot, and I just wish that the thing is the club is not going to say anything until it's done and dusted. So where are these people getting the information from? You know, are they making it up, or is there moles in the club?
Yeah, I mean, Mia, look, what do you want to see? Do you think the club have to come out with something to say, look, this is who we're talking to, this is what's happening? Is this the problem of Levy and Enoch not being more talkative to the fans, not giving the fans up to
Not
breath?
at all, because I don't think that any club does that. What club comes out and says we're looking at this manager and that manager? Nobody does it, Dermot. So it's like a really unrealistic expectation to expect that to happen. And the fact is, we've just got to all understand that don't believe everything you read, which I think all of us should always take on board anyhow with any part of what you read in the papers. To be honest, I don't believe everything I read when it comes to any part of the life, not just football. So for me, I think we just have to be a bit like, look at the sources, look who's coming out with things that we could probably trust a bit more, and trust them sources. You know, that's what I would say personally.
I want to say a big shout out to David Clark. He says, a shout out to my youngest son, Benny, and his wife, Isabel. They went to London yesterday and took part in the Walk for Cancer, 24 miles. Started at 11:30 last night and finished about 7:30 this morning. Well, fair dues to them. It is the biggest. It is the biggest killer in the world, and it does affect everyone. I mean, I just lost my mother-in-law not so long ago. Be 2 months now next week from cancer, so I know what it's like, and I'm sure everyone in their family has it.
So yeah.
My father died of it as well, and I've had it myself, so I know what it's like. So big up, David, and I hope Ben and Isabel, fair play to you, and I hope you're okay, and I hope you're not feeling too much of the effects today. But I hope you get a good rest. But big up, David, and yeah, big up to your youngest son and his wife Isabel. Big up to you. Philip, look, Daniel Levy is a lot of things, right? But when it comes to picking managers, that is not his biggest strength, is it? To be fair, I want to go through the list of these managers, right? Now, he took over in 2001. George Graham was Alan Sugar's last manager. Now, I want to give them out of 10. All right, and I'm going to go 1 to 1. So 1 to you, Philip, 1 to you, Mia. All right, Philip, you, George Graham. Out of his, how do you think he did as a manager? And out of 10, what would you give him?
He won us a trophy, which is a rarity.
I forgot to put that next to him. Actually, yeah.
Well, I know he was an ex-Gooner, and I mean, he was about as popular as a dog turd on your shoe when he came to the club. But I would give him a 7 because he did nothing wrong. The fact that he was a victim of the changeover of ownership whenever it happened. Levy wanted an ex-Spurs player in, and that's what happened.
Yeah, Mia, Glenn Hoddle, ex-Spurs hero. Me and Ellie's hero.
I love Glenn, man. Like, I think that there was that sentimentality a little bit, wasn't there, with Glenn Hoddle, and why we obviously brought him in. What was we like in that time period? We weren't particularly great, were we? Let's be honest. No. So, as far as him being what he actually did as a manager, not great, but because I just have that sentimental feeling with Glenn, so I'd have to give him a 6 because I love Glenn.
He did get us to a League Cup final.
He did,
where we lost to Blackburn.
but we lost. Yeah,
We lost. Story of Tottenham's finals and semi-finals. Did have that. He did. I don't know. George Graham, I'd give probably an 8-2 because he won this trophy. Glenn Hoddle, I'd give a 7. Philip, what would you give Glenn Hoddle? And his time as manager?
Probably a 6. Let's just say the say never go back, and it probably was true in Hoddle's case. A legend as a footballer, not quite as a manager.
Yeah. And do you know what? Daniel Levy sacked George Graham a week before an FA Cup semi-final against Arsenal.
Yeah. History does repeat itself then.
Yeah. Now, guys, Jack Santini. He was only there for a few games, to be fair. Who wants to start Jack Santini?
I can't even remember what he did, so just give him a 4.
Mia?
yeah. I'm probably going to give him a 4 as well. 3.5.
Yeah.
4.
Very quickly. Wayne Bonners. Both my parents had cancer scares. My brother last at Tesco, so it's a big up to David Clark's son and daughter-in-law. Yeah, big up. Wayne Bonners says, I like George Graham as manager. He was unfortunate to get screwed in the takeover. Tequila is given
the man in the overcoat. He was known as. Remember, they never called his name. They called him the man in the overcoat.
Yeah. Tequila 5 out of 6. Tequila says Santini 10 for comedy value.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Now, and now Martin Yole. Now, look, Philip. I want to say this out now. The way Levy sacked him at halftime was an absolute fucking disgrace. It was disgusting. I remember watching that game on television and hearing Martin Yole's name being sung around the stadium. There's only one Martin Yole. How could you go down at halftime and sack a manager during a European game? How sick in the head do you have to be? Or downright stupid?
If there was ever a night that Daniel Levy lost Tottenham, that was the night.
Yeah.
Because Martin Yole was loved by the fans. And it's testament to the character of the guy. He still loves Tottenham. Now, if I was treated the way he was by Daniel Levy, I'd be castigating him. I'd be doing what you call your man on TalkSport, Jason Cundy. I'd be doing the Jason Cundy on him, hammering Spurs every chance he gets. He doesn't.
Yeah.
Martin Yole comes back to the club. He loves Spurs. That was the day. That was the time Levy troubles began, if you ask me. It's when he sacked Martin Yole. And to do it during a match, I doubt it's ever been done before.
No.
You know? At least at the decency to wait till the final whistle.
Yeah. Mia, look, this thing at halftime, it was disgusting, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely disgusting. And I've got a soft spot for Martin Joe, you know, like the kind of guy he was as well. Like he was just such he was that really charismatic personality. And I just really liked him, man. And it was awful what happened to him, like awful. And I like him.
It was the song, the Susie Quattro song, I Love Rock and Roll, I Love Martin Yole.
Yeah.
I love that. I found that on YouTube. I actually will find it and I'll play it at the end of the stream, that song. It was very good. We got Wayne Bonner here with the super chat. Yole was God. He got screwed big time. Yeah, big up, Wayne. Yeah. Thank you so much for the super chat. Do you want to say anything to Wayne for the super chat, Philip?
Yeah, thanks, Wayne, for that. And absolutely agree with your sentiments. Yole was God. He got screwed big time. And just point of order, Dermot, it wasn't Susie Quattro, it was Joan Jett and the Blackhearts.
Was it? I thought it was Susie. Why did I think Susie Quattro?
Yeah, it's a bit like Susie Quattro, but no. Matt, Wayne, you're absolutely right about Martin Yole. I mean, he was, he gave Spurs an identity after Santini's debacle.
Yeah.
And hated to see the guy go. I remember I was actually driving that night, listening to the game on the radio in the car. And I couldn't believe the commentator could not believe what was happening when the word came through. He says, "This can't be happening. This is it's not April Fool, but not April the 1st by any means. This is dreadful." So Martin Yole to me will always be a legend.
Yeah. Look, thank you, Wayne Bonner, for the Mia. Do you want to say anything to Wayne for the super chat?
Thank you very much for your support. Always appreciated.
Yeah, and if you do want to be like Wayne and you want to get ahead of the chat, do put it into a super chat. Look, I know times are hard out there, and we do try to bring up people's comments. We do, and we try to read them out as best we can. Sometimes the chat gets mad, like it has been the last few days, and so we do try our very best. But it does help the channel grow, and it does help us, as Philip says, get more. Because we're trying to up the level of the channel for next season and really try to go with the big guns. So thank you so much indeed. Look, just a bit more on Martin Yeo, Philip, and Mia. Look, did Martin Yeo lay the foundations for what was to come, especially under the Harry Redknapp and Pochettino eras?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got us consecutive European place, didn't he, to go into Europe consecutively. So yeah, he definitely started it. Started something. Definitely, I liked him a lot. Like I say, massive fan.
Ellie's given Santini one for turning up for work. Oh, big up. Peter M, you all know how I feel about Yo's sacking. It was the first Enid manager to give us a real shout at Champions League. He and Carrick and Berbatov sold under. Yeah, that is so true.
Do you think that Jack Santini just turned up and just wondered if he was supposed to be here or not? He just looked up, shrugged his shoulders, and looked around, was like, "Am I meant to be here?"
Yeah. Did Martin Yeo come with Jack Santini? Was he assistant manager?
Yeah, I'm just actually looking that up here now. Just bear with me for a second.
Anyway, while Philip's checking that up, we go to Ronde Ramos, the Spaniard man from Spain, who won us a trophy. Now, I have got this mixed up. Martin Yeo did not win us the League Cup. It was Ramos, so I do apologise. I've got the wrong manager with the wrong.
Yeah, Ramos won us the League Cup.
Yeah, I know. I've got it here. Martin Yeo won us the League Cup. It was actually Ramos. So can I just make that clear?
He was given a job as a coach under Jack Santini after being recruited by Frank Arneson.
Yeah. He was the director of football, wasn't he? Who didn't last too long either. Mr. Ramos, what do you think of his time in charge at Tottenham Hotspur?
Interesting, I suppose. Yeah. Interesting is what I would probably say.
He won us a trophy, but he could barely speak any English, isn't that right? He was very little English.
So. Yeah. The thing is, he won us the trophy, which is obviously that's something that we obviously are happy we won a trophy. But that trophy gets forgotten about a lot. Like it's not really like that. Really, it's not like it made any difference. It didn't propel us any further, did it? You know what I'm saying? So like it was a bit of a he won us a trophy.
We got to the final the following year. Do you remember was it the following year or the year after we were beaten on penalties?
No, with the following year.
Following year,
yeah. Conham says Santini was on a work placement. And Wayne says, "Oh, did Santini?"
Was he? Yeah. You know what I mean by that.
Yeah. And Wayne Bonner says, "Oh, did Santini turn up?"
Yeah.
And then Aussie 12 said, "Won us a trophy and nearly got us relegated." That's when he was sacked.
Yeah.
Then Mr. Harry Redknapp come in with his brown paper, dodgy Harry, as we like to call him.
Yeah.
Now, for me, Harry, what was your out of 10 for Martin Yeo, Philip and Mia?
9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
Mia?
8. 7.5, actually.
I'm going to agree with Philip, 9. I think for Randy Ramos, I'll give him a 7 for winning us a trophy.
I'll give him a 6, win the cup.
Yeah, 5.5.
Now, Mr. Harry Redknapp, dodgy Harry, East End Harry, who loves his roly-poly from Sandra, who keeps cooking him from since we found out on I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here that he loved a bit of roly-poly.
Keep it clean, Dermot. Keep it clean.
That was clean. Roly-poly is an East End jam.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Mia would have taken it in that direction. It's a good job we didn't say.
No, I was going to say, lucky didn't like Spotted Dick. Then we really would be in trouble. It's a dessert.
You can get tablets for that. You can get tablets for it.
Yeah. Do you know what? I tell you one thing. If we ever did an adult-only show where anything goes, I tell you, we'll get 1,000 views.
We do one during the summer. We do one during the close season.
Yeah, we will do. Anyway, Harry Redknapp, dodgy Harry, with his bit of brown paper bags, apparently. Now, he said to Dave and Ollie that Joe Lewis is the problem, not Daniel Levy.
Yeah.
Now, Harry did a great job, got us in the Champions League and everything, but his exit, Philip, wasn't the greatest exit. He sort of pissed Levy off. Now,
He's looked
do
at
you
the
want to
England job.
explain people a little bit of why he was sacked in the end? And it wasn't ready for how Tottenham were playing.
No, he was touting for the England job, which was free at the time, apparently. And he made it known that he wanted the England job. I think it got up Levy's nose. That's my reading of it anyway. But if I could just go back a little bit, I remember with very alarming clarity the night Harry Redknapp took over at Tottenham. We were bottom of the league, and I mean bottom of the league, in October 2008. And we played Bolton the next day.
Yeah.
And we beat Bolton. I think Tom Huddleston scored the winner. And that was the start of the Redknapp regime. And we went from strength to strength there. It was always a bit of when I see Harry Redknapp, I always think of Del Boy and Only Fools and Horses. It's kind of the same kind of, Flash Harry sort of guy from the East End of London type of thing, And, but I mean, great character. And I mean, although when it was mentioned that he wanted to come back this time, to look after things before the new manager, I definitely said no, because I think he's out of the game too long. But for the 4 years, it was a roller coaster ride. The 4 years he was at Tottenham. Remember the night up in Manchester in 2009?
Yeah.
When we qualified for the Champions League, or 2010 maybe it was.
You remember the 4-4?
Time when David Bentley poured a bucket of water over him in the interview room afterwards,
Do you remember the 4-4 draw with Arsenal we had? David Bentley scored that blinder. Or was it Lennon that got the equaliser?
I also remember the 4-4 with Villa, the night we became 125 years old.
Yeah.
Although was that actually under Harry Redknapp? No, it mightn't have been.
No,
I think
that
was
under Martin Yole.
Martin Yole, yeah. I remember that 4-4 as well. But, Harry, a great guy, loved him to bits. I see managing the Spurs team that played in that charity match last week. We won 7-1. He's having great banter with the players,
Yeah. Mia, I got a great Harry Redknapp story, but look, what do you remember of old Harry? We do. He's like the club's granddad, isn't he? Really?
Yeah, I was about to say he's more like an uncle. He's like that crazy uncle that always has got a really good story, a good like a Londoner. He's always got a story to tell. I love Harry. They're saying he's just such a lovely guy, and I think what he did for us in 18 months to get us to the Champions League was absolutely phenomenal. And I think a lot of people forget that he actually did do that, and that was a massive achievement, like you say, when he come in and we were just down and out. And I remember that very clearly because in 2008 October, I was near to giving birth to my son. So that's like something obviously reminds me I'm very clear on that because I remember it very well.
Did that bring on the labour, Mia? Did that bring on the labour?
It could have been. That's why the baby was just like, no, you've got to come. I've had enough now of your crazy. What's going on with you? It was obviously, it was really good times, and we enjoyed the football as well, didn't we? Let's be honest, we enjoyed watching Tottenham again. It was good to watch. So he gave us that really nice feeling, and I love Harry. Harry, I want Harry to be my mate. I want him to come round for dinner with him and his missus and have a good chat. I'd love it.
Yeah. And he says we did lose to Man United on penalties in the next year of the Champions League. Spotted Dick, Ellie says I came across in lots of calves.
Well, that's interesting. I wonder how you found that out.
I'd like to know which calves Ellie are going to. West Ham, she won's in Amsterdam. West Ham 3-1 leads for fans going home.
And briefly, Southampton were back to 2 each with Brighton, but was disallowed for offside. So it's 2-1 now. And
Peter M says Harry was actually a trainee with Spurs when he was a kid.
Yeah, before he went to West Ham. Yeah.
Now the funny, and big up to Eugene as well. So hi, big everyone. # Levy out. Big up Eugene. Hope you're doing well. So look, a funny Harry Redknapp story. What was it now? It was in my head. Oh yeah, Harry was trying to sell a player from Portsmouth to Man City, right? And do you remember the fella called Benji? Philip, he used to play for Portsmouth.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, he didn't want to leave Portsmouth, did he? So Sven-Goran Eriksson's the Man City manager. So he's paid over the odds for Benji, right? And Harry Redknapp's thinking, look, he's paying double the money. Let's go. He chased him all day to get him on this plane to go to Manchester. It was so funny. Harry Redknapp's stories are so fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
They really are. Then Harry was sacked. I remember that night very well. I was coming home from the pub. I came in, put on Sky Sport News. Harry Redknapp has been sacked from Spurs. And I remember being deflated and sad. How could they? Come on, come on, Harry, come back. And then they bring in Tim Sherwood to the end of the season. And then they bring in AVB. Now, I have never felt so underwhelmed by an appointment as a manager like I probably am feeling with Slot. But Mia, what was your thoughts when Mr. Levy said our next Chelsea manager is going to be our new manager?
I wasn't impressed. The only thing that impressed me was he wasn't a bad looker. But yeah, I wasn't very impressed at all, really. It wasn't saying, it just didn't give you that good feeling. After having Harry Redknapp, who loved the club, who was just such a charismatic character and a lovely guy, I think AVB was a bit like, it come across a bit cold, in my opinion. Like he was a bit of a cold character. And I just don't know. It didn't give me that vibe and I wasn't happy.
And also, what would you give for Harry Redknapp's manager reign?
10 out of 10. Love me, Harry.
Yeah, I give him 9.
I give him 10. I'm going to agree with Mia. I don't agree with Mia really very much, but I'm agreeing with Mia on this time. Philip, AVB.
Pass.
Bit of what can you say about his man? Pardon, pass. Yeah, fair enough. Pass. Fair enough. Pass. AVB gets one.
No, do you remember that TV series Spitting Image that was on?
Yeah.
And we used to have a character, John Major character, was always grey faced, no colour about it at all.
Yeah.
You got him again. There he is.
Tequila saying Hoddle was the next Chelsea too. Yeah, we've gone for those ex-Chelsea managers actually.
Too many.
AVB, another manager who nearly got us Champions League football in 2012, 2013, then fell apart in 2013, 2014.
Yeah. No,
and then AVB.
Zenit St. Petersburg, as far as I know.
Yeah. Then during that season, then it was Tim Sherwood came in to take us to the end of the season.
Yeah,
and then Mr. Pochettino came in from Southampton. Mia's favourite manager, who wanted him back so badly. She was on every YouTube channel saying, bring back my Poch. I want him back so badly. Bring him back. Mia, I'm going to start with you. Pochettino, 5 years at Tottenham.
Yep.
What do you think of his management time? And out of 10, what would you give his time at Tottenham?
I'll probably give him like a 8.5 because I feel like that feeling was very similar to what we had with Harry Redknapp, like that love and that feeling, like it feels like everyone gets it wrong and thinks I absolutely hate Poch. It ain't like that. It's just because I didn't want him back. Like I just didn't, because I felt like he did make mistakes. But overall, he gave us that feeling back. He played lovely football and he just had that thing about him that you couldn't help but love him. You just couldn't help but love the guy. He just had something about him that was just, you just liked him a lot. And I think, and it just brought everybody together again. Everyone was united again. All the fans were united. And that feeling is what everybody wanted back. And it's sentimental to that, to want that, to go back to him to get that, because it ain't necessarily like we would have got that back if he would have come back. So that's why I didn't want him. So, and I do think he did make mistakes, like all managers do. He wasn't perfect. A lot of people forget that he wasn't quite as perfect as people like to make out. But yeah, like I say, I loved Poch when he was here. I loved watching the football. It was lovely to watch. It was exciting to watch. And he gave us the best time ever was when we got to Champions League final. Like no other manager has ever done that. So that feeling was out of this world. So I can't, of course, I love Poch for that, man. I loved Poch when he was with us.
Yeah, you just don't want him back though, do you?
No, I just don't. Listen, I loved my ex. I had 2 children with him, but I don't want him back. Same thing.
Oh, Mia, I do love you for that. I really do. There we go, found it. Right. Okay, Philip, Mr. Pochettino.
Yeah, I can more or less. Mia said it all. I give him an 8. He was a breath of fresh air to us. Okay, he wasn't perfect, but he is. He made the odd mistake. The biggest mistake he made was playing Harry Kane in the Champions League final. He should have left Lucas Moura there.
Yeah.
Who knows what would have happened. Harry wasn't fit. But no, love the guy. Again, love to see him back at the club at some stage, not just now. And I think he's an absolute idiot to go to Chelsea.
I do.
Because he won't last 6 months at that circus.
And what would you give him out of 10?
Give him 8.5.
Yeah, look, I agree with you as well, Martin. Excuse me. Bless me. I agree with you. Pochettino brought back our identity. He brought back what Tottenham Hotspur is all about. How we should be. Why the way we played. He was allowed to get rid of all the deadwood at the end of his first season, but we didn't back him. And this is the problem with Levy. You look at list all the managers, Philip and Mia. Before we get on to the final tree, you look at a Glenn Hoddle, could have backed him to players he wanted to move us on. You look at a Harry Redknapp, could have backed him to the players he wanted. You look at a Martin Yeo, could have backed him to get the players he wanted. And you look at Pochettino, could have backed him to get the players he wanted. There seems to be a same list, a vine going through all this. It's like a tree. And the roots of the problem is that man at the bottom there, Mr. Levy. He didn't back any of the managers, sacking the manager at half time. Didn't back Harry with the players he wanted. Didn't back Poch with the players he wanted. Bringing in, saying when he joined the club, bringing in Glenn Hoddle, I want us to play the Tottenham way. He wouldn't know the Tottenham way if it bit him on the arse. People have asked him, when was your first game? When I remember going with the Rattles and walking up, what was your first game? I remember my first game.
Yeah,
so do you, Philip. So do you, Mia. Something that doesn't leave you. And look, for me, Pochettino was our best chance since Keith Birkinshaw to be really successful. We didn't back him. And
That's not why we didn't win. The reason we didn't win is on penalties or other decisions. It wasn't just because he wasn't backed. And that's such a narrative that people like to give, which isn't the truth. All but for a missed penalty against Man United, we would have won something.
Mia, I don't disagree with you on that.
Fault. So I
don't
would
agree
say...
with you. Yeah, but also he didn't back him with the players he wanted
no, he didn't
as well.
back him. Okay, I agree with you. We didn't, because we was building the stadium, and obviously that was really bad. What happened with that? I completely concur with that. But I just don't like this narrative of we've never won anything down to everything's Levy, that we didn't win anything, because I don't think that's actually quite true.
Philip, do you agree or disagree with what I just said?
He didn't back. I mean, okay, he's not the fault for players missing penalties. You can't blame him for that. No. But maybe if he backed players a little bit better, we might have had players that might have been more amenable to taking penalties, if you know what I'm coming from. But it's been a kind of a thread through the entire managerial, or the entire ownership thread from ENIC of missed opportunities. I'll put it the best way I can put it.
The thing is that I do want Levy and ENIC, because it isn't just Levy, out, because I do think we need to get somebody who wants what's best for the club. So please don't everyone say that I love Levy or whatever, because it's not true. What I am is trying to be balanced with it, in that we small margin. There are small margins in football, and some of the reasons that we didn't win trophies is down to those small margins. It isn't down to just what Levy has or hasn't done.
Do you know what, Mia? I've always been the same with you, and I have. I've always tried to be balanced in my arguments. Look, I always have this thought, right? When the players cross that white line, it's down to the players. The manager, the owner, the chairman can't do anything about it. It's the managers. Everything off the pitch is down to the owners and the chairman to give the managers the tools to do their job. So if that means giving him the players to take us to the next level, that means the chairman and the owner must provide the funds or provide the materials it's like building a house. If I went to build a house and dug out my foundations, instead of putting concrete in, put sand in to build my house on, my house is going to sink, or not, it's going to fall down. So you've got to, but I agree with you, Mia. A missed penalty here, a dodgy penalty decision there. a result going or result going in our favour, we could have won the league against Leicester. We could have won we could have won the Champions League. We could have been into 2 FA Cup finals. We could have won a League Cup. So that's down to the players. That's down to football fortune, where it's a roll of the dice. It's either going to be 50-50. But Levy has to take responsibility.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For not backing managers, for sacking a manager at halftime. But also Joe Lewis has to take responsibility for not backing, not giving the funds to Joe Lewis, to Levy, to give to the manager to say, go and buy who you want. They have said when they bought the club, we're not football fans. This is an investment for us to invest our money. Well, I think they've done very well with their investment. So I think it's time for them to move on and give somebody else the reins to look after our great club. And I think the football side has been so neglected. And guys, I think you all agree with me. We really want our Spurs back, don't we, Philip and Mia?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Of
I mean,
course.
and Arsenal doing what they did this season has put it into perspective.
Yeah.
I mean, look at a couple of seasons ago, Arsenal were in disarray. I think there was one season they didn't even qualify for Europe, but they stuck with it. But they stuck with their manager, and look what they've got to now. We haven't had the habit of sticking with managers. We get rid of them. And
Right.
the hardest part this season for me to take was, I mean, if Arsenal won the league this season, I would have been in a deep depression all summer. And it's sad that the only bright spot of this season is the fact that Arsenal didn't win the league.
Yeah. Can you actually say, between about you and Mia, right? Name me the 2 longest serving managers on that list.
Name of the 2 was?
The 2 longest serving managers on that list.
Redknapp
Redknapp
and Poch, yeah.
So what does that say? Every other manager lasted, what, 2 years, Philip?
Graham 3 years, Hoddle 2, Santini nothing, Yall 3, Ramos 1, Redknapp 4, Villas Boas 1, Poch 5, and the rest months, really. Jose only lasted a year and a half. Nuno only lasted 6 months, if that. And Conte only lasted 18 months? Not even that, 16 months.
So look, we're getting on to the last 3 managers now. Mourinho, the Garden Gnome, as I call him, and Antonio Conte. Mia, look, we've got 2 world-class managers and a Garden Gnome. Where did it all go wrong?
I'll tell you where it went wrong, in my humble opinion, is that we didn't continue on with the Poch style. What he thought was, what they thought, up in the boards that are think they're obviously in the know, they thought that because we've got so close, if we bring in a Jose Mourinho, he can get us over that line and do it. With Nuno, that was a big mistake. To make up for that mistake, he got Conte because he thought that would appease the fans. So he made 2 major mistakes by one, trying to fix it quick and get a quick reward, and then trying to fix it for making a big mistake with Nuno. And that's where they went completely wrong.
Does this prove me? I mean, Philip, look, can I just point something out to you, right? Sack George Graham, bring in Glenn Hoddle to appease the fans, right? And then we all go down there, right? Sack Ramos, bring Harry Redknapp to sort of appease the fans, sort of jolly fella, can get on with the fans. Sack Poch, bring in Mourinho to appease the fans. We get the Garden Gnome. We sack him, bring in Conte to appease the fans. Has all his managerial appointments, just very quickly before we go on to that, what would you give out of 10 for Jose Mourinho's time at the club, Mia?
I would probably give him a 6 because he did get us to a final, and I know everyone was getting a bit fed up with the way he played, and I do get it, but he did get us to that final, to be fair.
How much would you give the Garden Gnome?
A -6 for every month that he was with us.
And Conte?
Conte, I would probably give a 5.5 because he did get us to the Champions League.
Yeah. Philip, look, we can go on to the cows come home. I think Levy got a hard on when he saw Mourinho and Conte. I think he got sexually aroused and he started growing hair in his head again when he saw Mourinho. Do you feel that the appointment of Mourinho was to appease the fans? and then they panicked over Nuno, the Garden Gnome, and then they realised, well, although we fucked this up, let's get Conte in. But I tell you what, we won't do. We'll sack Jose before cup final, and we'll bring Conte, but we'll promise him the earth, but we won't keep our promises. Do you feel all his management appointments have been one disaster after another?
Not all of them. Not all of them. I mean, you've got to say Harry Redknapp was a success. Pochettino was a success. The rest of them were debatable. Martin Jol was a success. Mourinho, the one thing that bugs me about the Mourinho situation was Jose Mourinho was appointed less than 24 hours after Pochettino was sacked, which leads me to believe how long will they negotiate? You don't get a manager like Jose Mourinho by picking up the phone and the same day, I'll come and start tomorrow. That was going on for weeks before that, and that troubles me a bit. Why do we bring in a player like Mourinho or a manager like Mourinho? Was it because he'd won something everywhere he'd been, right? But Mourinho was on a hiding to nothing there, because if he wasn't backed, he didn't have the resources, and he spoke out. He spoke his mind, and I'd say that's what got him the sack. He spoke out too much about the way the club was being run. Now, Nuno, the Garden Gnome, that was an absolute disaster. So I'm not even going to comment on him.
It's the first time I've heard you call them that, and I'm laughing, but I think fair play to you, Philip. Somebody's backing me with the Garden Gnome.
Conte was a funny one. When Conte came in, we all thought, this is it. This is the guy that's going to do it, right? And we all thought in Conte we trust. And for most of his reign, getting us to the Champions League, great stuff, marvellous. But the more it went on, the negativity of his football ground us down. It ground the players down. They didn't want to be playing that style of football, so they didn't even try. The fans were getting upset about it because there was the negativity and let's defend until we can attack. Whereas the Tottenham way is you attack their players, you attack the other team. You don't sit back. So I think Conte, I would say Mourinho and Conte, to be honest with you, they've had their day. Their type of management style is not going to succeed anymore. Even though Mourinho has been relatively successful at Roma, Conte, I think, he's been copped onto. He's now a busted flush.
Yeah. Okay. And what would you give you out of 10 for the three of them, Philip?
I give Mourinho a 6. I give the Garden Gnome a 1 for turning up, and I give Antonio Conte a 5. And I would have given him a lot. I thought I'd be giving him a lot higher than that, but that's all I can give him, because I think he's the major reason where we are now.
Yeah. Look, for Mourinho, he was. And he says, sexually aroused Levy in my head now, Dermatrons. Look, he sacked Poch at 11 o'clock Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
6:30, and I remember this. I was on my way up to Dublin Hospital that morning. I was on the back of the bus, and it came through that Mourinho had been announced as the new manager. So in less than 6 hours or 7 hours, he was man. So I'll give Mourinho. I'll give Mourinho an 8, because I thought it was a breath of fresh air, and I give the Garden Gnome minus 1,002 because he was just fucking useless. And Antonio Conte, I would give a 5. I would give 4.5 because I thought great first season, second season just lost the plot completely.
Yeah.
Look, let us know in the comments what you think. I'm going to go through them. I'm sorry I haven't been able to bring up the comments because we've been so busy doing this. So I'm gonna go quickly, very quickly. We only got a few more minutes, so we won't be too long, Mia, because I know you need to go. I just want to bring up David Clark, 10% increase, Fulham 16%, Forest a 20% increase, Leeds 10%, Brighton 4%, Arsenal 5%. I'm sure their ticket rises. We've got Levy. Wayne saying Levy has no understanding of loyalty, which is why fans are no more than cash cows. And look, I'm going to quickly go through this. Mia, do you want to give your channel a bit of a plug before we go? Your link is in the chat, so please, I will put it back in there again. Philip, do you want to go through, bring these messages up very quickly while I get just bring them up? Oh, just
You start them off and I'll carry on. I'm not sure where I'm at here.
Okay, just start at the bottom there. Mia, do you want to give your channel a plug and I'll put you
yeah, if you don't know, then give your head a wobble. Go over to Spurs Between the Lines, please, guys. I'm on the road to my 400, and then after that will be 5. So I'm really pushing to do it. So if you haven't subscribed already, I'm not normally one to beg, but please, can you do it, please? I'll be really, really grateful. I like to have good conversations with people, lots of different opinions. And I try and be as balanced as possible with everybody. So tomorrow I will be doing a therapy session about the game. So come over 8:45 a.m. for the therapy session, UK time.
And there is Mia's link there. Mr. Godfather, Mr. Brady, what have we got coming up on THFC? We've got a few things coming up this week, haven't we? We've got Newsbeat and we've got a few build up to the last game of the season, haven't we?
Yeah, or build down, whichever way you want to look at it. Yeah. Now Leeds definitely need to beat us next week. Now they lost 3-1 to West Ham today. So yeah, we'll have the news beat during the week, obviously, and we're going to have, I think, the game on Sunday evening. The game on Sunday evening at 4:00, I think.
Yeah, we do. We'll have. I don't know if we're doing it as a watch along or we're doing around the ground. So
we'll see how things go. We'll see how things pan out, but it could be a bit of both. One of us might be watching the game and another one watching the grounds as other things happening elsewhere. Because the last day of the season is always very exciting, especially with the relegation issue really up for grabs at the minute. And we shall see. We'll have a pre-match on Saturday as well, I think, and. Then we'll be regenerating the batteries for the new season with lots of new stuff coming during the close season in August.
Yeah, we will be going through that this week with the new thing. I got a little bit of breaking news I want to bring in before we do end. It's about the people that are after Manchester United now. I am hearing if they don't get the Man United bid, they may also be looking at West Ham if the United bid fails. So Tottenham and West Ham could be both looking at, the Qataris could be looking at both clubs. So we need to keep an eye on that. Now, as promised, I did promise you I love Martin Yole as an outro. So I'm going to put it up. I'm going to take me, Philip and Mia off. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Don't let Spurs get you down. It's only a game of football. But we are Spurs fans. We will come back. We will rise again. Philip, thank you for coming on. Mia, thank you also for joining us. And you'll see me and Philip back, or me and Philip and Ellie back tomorrow on Newsbeat. And this show will be going out on Spotify today as well. So if you did enjoy it, put us on Spotify. We're on Amazon Music as well. THFC Till I Die. So get over there and listen to our previous podcast. But whatever you do, take care, take out. I'm going to take us out and enjoy this. I love Martin Yole as we finish the show. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on.
Goodbye to Santini. We found a new boss to take us up the league. He's better than Christian Gross. George Graham, don't come close. He's better than Jerry Francis and David Plea. Yeah, Plea. He's better than Jerry Francis and David Plea. Yeah, Plea. Singing, I love Martin Yole. Gonna lead the boys into Europe, baby. I love Martin Yole. Gonna lead the boys back to Wembley. Ow! Well, he looks like a mafia hitman, that's for sure. And he'll crush you with a bear hug when we score. He'll get no grief from journalists, 'cause they know how hard he is. He's harder than giant haystacks and Mr. T. Yeah, T. He's harder than Sly Stallone in Rocky 3. Yeah, 3. Singing, I love Mario. Gonna lead the boys into Europe, baby. I love Mario. Gonna lead the boys back to Wembley. Ow! He's better than Christian Gross. George Graham, don't come close. He's better than Jerry Francis and David Plee. Yeah, Plee. He's better than Jerry Francis, singing, I love Mario.